There are many complexities to the India-US relationship, and somebody said just now that we should deal with each other equally. And I think part of that equally is from our side in India. We should also think about how, this whole visit up to this last 2 hours has been marked by peevishness on our part. I mean, come on, if we are equals, let's talk as equals. Why are we doing this? And let's see where it goes. I just feel the attitudes between India and America are really wound up in a lot of emotion, and there seems to be very little rationality, as is apparent from the manner in which we've reacted to those words that President Obama said at the Taj, and I think we have to move beyond that.
Fair enough. Mani.
I'd just like to say that we, people like me, got most excited about Obama winning.
Yeah.
Because in 3 words,
yes, we can.
A huge hope. Yes, we can. Now, if he starts saying perhaps we can't, then naturally there's a sense of disappointment. If on this issue of the elimination of nuclear weapons, which I insist is far more important than whether 3 Indian public sector companies are allowed to buy some dual technology from the United States, if on this issue he uses in New Delhi the same words he used in Prague, which was, yes, we can. Let him come here and say what he said in Prague, yes, we can, bring Dr. Manmohan Singh on board with himself, show the world that the world's largest and the world's smallest nuclear weapon powers are together in earnestly seeking the elimination of nuclear weapons. It'll be the biggest breakthrough since the Iron Curtain fell across Eastern Europe.
There'll be some rhetoric to match, not to match what Mani has said in the joint statement. But look, I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetimes. I think Obama was right to say it's not going to happen in our lifetimes. And there is, other countries which are involved.
What he said was, I do not expect the elimination of nuclear weapons to take place in my lifetime. What I am talking about is not eliminating nuclear weapons, but beginning a process of intergovernmental
This also is not going to happen in our
leading to negotiation. No, that is what I want to happen. If it did happen, it would be the biggest.
But it's not realistic.
Well, no problem. If the American objective, as stated by President Obama, is the desirability of eliminating nuclear weapons, and if, as he said in Prague, that perhaps we should be initiating the process, all I'm saying is, let us take what he said in Prague seriously.
Okay, Raja.
I think, US Congress today can't do the first step. The Senate his majority has declined. Senate is not even going to approve the START treaty, forget the nuclear elimination. On CTBT, many Indians are very happy that Obama's agenda is now taken a back seat, because here was Rajiv Gandhi and Nehru who supported CTBT, but present Congress government says, no, CTBT, no, I never sign it. So I think, a lot of talk, this grand rhetoric, but when it comes to specifics, we are as realistic, as cynical as the Americans are.
So let's look at the specifics. Sanjay Puri, I know that the big businesses is a bad word around this panel for some, but what is Obama hoping to go back with?
Well, obviously, from a business standpoint, they're looking for some defense deals that will happen. That's obviously going to be a big ticket item for them, and some aviation.
And we're hearing from our sources that Boeing is going to get a big order, GE is going to get a contract.
So those are the big ticket items that are going to happen. But in the big scheme of things, I mean, people always talk it's going to create a lot of jobs. It's a $14 trillion economy. What are we talking about here? So yes, maybe Boeing will get some business, etc. But the strategic aspects of the relationship need to be kept emphasized. I think that's not what is happening here. Where people talk about outsourcing, they're talking past each other. Look at the strengths of India, look at the strengths of the United States. Let's see if we can merge. India has issues relating to healthcare. United States can help. Maybe it'll create US jobs. It'll help India. You have wastewater things, you have environmental things. America has technology. Let's talk about those things. We keep talking about outsourcing or things of that nature, and we keep talking past each other.
So you're getting lost in the detail in a sense. Satish Chandra, on the issue of the neighborhood, of regional security, of many people believing that, and we had some Americans openly say this on our panel today, that America needs to create a counterweight in India to China.
No, look.
How much of this strategic partnership is about that?
No, you see, there is an element of reality in that, because China is developing in a manner, it's becoming much more aggressive than it ever was in terms of the stapled visas, in terms of Tawang, in terms of bases and so on. I don't have to go into that. So that is a problem. It can be resolved, perhaps, but it may not be resolved also. And that's what I was saying is the issue that, one of the issues that should be discussed. It can't obviously be put in a communique. That would be suicidal.
Yeah.
The proper way to go about this is to discuss a strategy, because it's an equal threat to USA. In the long term, if there is one single power that can challenge the USA, it is China. And they know it.
I think just as on Pakistan, I think with China too, I think we'll have to deal it on a bilateral level. Second, look, just
so we're not going to be this bulwark in the region against China.
Look, it's not somebody making us a bulwark. The fact is that today the nature of the US-China relationship is so deep. The trade deficit between US and China in 2 months, that is $60 billion, is the order of our trade with China and the US separately. So I think there's no, this level of difference between India's relationship with the US and China and their bilateral relationship is so big. For us to pretend that somehow we're going to be the frontline state against China is not going to work. We want to build good relationship with both. The question is, how do we strengthen ourselves? That's more important than acting as a cat's paw to someone else.
No, and there's the other aspect of it, that how far does USA wish to go? I mean, very recently, in fact, the Undersecretary of State was talking about China having a legitimate role in South Asia. It's the carryover of what was said earlier.
But central issue in Asia today is the nature of the financial interdependence between America and China, which is such a scale. That is the fundamental fulcrum of international politics today, and it's not India getting in between the two of them.
But Mani was making this point on if India and Pakistan need to talk, then they've got to do it themselves. What place does America have in that bedroom? But the fact of the matter is, and rather you remember when Obama won, you wrote a piece saying that this was going to be an administration that was going to be more troublesome for India on the Kashmir issue. And if we haven't heard the P word, we haven't heard the K word either, nor are we likely to hear it externally.
I think our problem was threefold. When he came to power, one was outsourcing issue, because Democrats tend to be more protectionist. Yeah. One was the Kashmir issue. And third was the so-called G2, that they would get close to the Chinese to run the world. Yeah. I think he's backed off on all the three. But I think we must not underestimate the importance of China in the world today and the need for us to engage them on our own merits and not tie our relationship with the US to as a front against the Chinese.
No, but my question was going to be, and Mani, this is also for you, that whether we like it or not, the presence of American troops in Afghanistan, the impact that the withdrawal from Afghanistan will have, makes America a factor in the equation, even if this is never externalized in any comments made by Obama or Manmohan Singh. And the American focus is simple. Reduce the friction between India and Pakistan so you can get the Pakistan military to focus on Afghanistan, to focus on Al-Qaeda, to focus on Taliban. How can we wish America away from this equation, Mani?
I'm not wishing America away. I'm saying that there is a relationship between India and the United States of America which should be dealt with on its own, and a relationship between India and Pakistan which is fundamentally for India to deal with. Now, if you start saying that the best way of getting the Americans to either hang on in Afghanistan or not, depending upon your particular prejudice, would be for India to be brought into this picture by saying that you solve Kashmir so that the Pakistanis can deal with that, I don't think this should be any part of our strategy. I want you to understand the basic point I'm making, Barka, that we have to first settle our own house. It begins in India. Domestic policy is far more important than foreign policy. Second, we have to settle with our neighbors, and that includes China, and there he and I are on the same page. We are both saying, let India settle its relationship so that we live in a harmonious South Asia and preferably in a harmonious Asia. But please do not look to outsiders to pull